Welcome to the show.
Thank
We're
you.
so happy to have you,
Thanks for having me.
and looking forward to you educating us about our financial freedom. So, first of all, wanted to say I know there are things that we need to do to achieve financial freedom.
Right.
So, tell us first of all, the first thing we need to do is have a plan. So, just go into details on that.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself first.
Okay. Again, as she mentioned, as Beverly mentioned, my name is Oral Gray, and I'm just here to talk to you folks and just kind of like get us all on the same even playing field, because I got to tell you, we are losing the battle when it comes to the haves and the have-nots. The gap is getting wider, and the interesting thing is we could do very simple things to actually start narrowing that gap. And so I came up with 10 things, and I call it the 10 things you need to achieve financial freedom. And number one, have a plan. He who fails to plan plans to fail. Now, what does this mean? Having a plan, you have to have a jump-off point or a starting point. Most people, when they get their funds in, they just shoot it everywhere. They just buy this, buy that, and they do all kinds of things with it. But it's no plan, or even a better way to look at it is this: people say they want to plan for some kind of retirement, but they have no plan. And without some kind of plan and a starting point, you're bound to fail.
Right. So true.
So you must have a plan.
And then the misconceptions that people may have. I mean, we need to change our thinking about money. So just tell us a little about that.
So what we're doing here, folks, is we're going to go through the 10 things you must have to achieve financial freedom. And number two, I mentioned here, is to change your way of thinking when it comes to money. Most people have a misconception about how money works. Like, for instance, if you ask a person, well, what would you do if you win the lottery? They have all these different things. I'll go buy this and buy and that. I'm going to buy my mom's house. And it's all about spending, buying, spending. So what that does is it actually, if you don't have a plan in reference to growing that money and increasing that money, you're going to wind up worse than where you are. And statistically, lottery winners actually wind up being more broke than they were before they actually hit the lottery.
Right.
Because if you still have the thinking, or if you don't know how money works, then you're going to do the same things. A matter of fact, your habits get worse if you have more money.
Right.
So if you still have these bad habits and you don't know how money works, then that's what's going to happen. And let me further elaborate on that. This is a common misconception, and you complete the sentence, Bev.
Right.
Okay, here it goes. Money is the
root
of all
of
evil.
all evil.
That's what everybody says.
Yes.
But in actuality, it's the love of money, is the root of all evil. So people use that terminology incorrectly all the time, because it's the okay. It's not. Money's not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that becomes the root of all evil. So that's one of the misconceptions.
Okay, great.
Now, let me further elaborate. So, if you have a poor man's mentality when it comes to money, if you have a whole lot of money, very soon you're going to actually lose all that money, because you have to see and it starts with the training at home. And I mean, if you even look at Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it really goes into how a rich dad teaches his child how to think about money and how to use money as a tool, and then it shows the poor dad. And it just seems like we're always fighting an uphill battle because we don't know how money works.
Right.
We need to sit down and learn about money. Now, this kind of goes right into my third thing that you need to know. If you don't know about money, get help from people who know more about money than you do. So that's my number 3. Get help. Get with someone who's an expert that's going to show you how money works. And they're going to teach you, because a lot of people, they may think they know about money. And let me ask you this, Beverly, how many college courses that you take actually teach you about money unless you're into finances?
Exactly. Not very many.
Exactly.
Not very many. And it should start from school, though.
Yes, it should, but it doesn't.
Right.
So the advantage that someone who's of privilege has is that their parents, they know how money works. So from a very young age, they teach them how money works.
But for the average person who don't know, they keep making the same mistakes over and over again until they learn to change that mentality.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what would you say a young person just leaving college, and there's a lot of graduations going on right now. So a lot of, young people leaving college and about to start a job, they may not be thinking of retirement, or they may think, I just want to spend and get the things that I want to get. And why do I have to start saving from now? I have all the time in the world.
Okay.
What would you say?
I like that. And that leads me to number 4. Don't put off planning for retirement for someday, because someday is never going to happen. Someday is now.
Right.
So if you're a person that just started working, just got out of college, you have that first job, it's never too late to start. It's always too late to wait.
Right.
Because, I can show you some figures about just waiting 4 years and the difference in the amount of money you'll have at retirement. So all these different things that folks need to understand. And a lot of times when you're young, you have this, you don't think about the future, you're thinking about now, you're thinking about having fun. And that goes back with the teaching, where you have to engage young people and really drill it in their head that, look, you're young, you have more time than I do. You need to start putting away as much as you can now, or just have something. So someone who's just coming out of college, they don't have a lot of money. But sometimes if you even put away, you have to start a discipline here. So even if you say, okay, I don't make a lot of money, I'm going to put away $20. And I tell you, it's one of the greatest feelings when you're putting away money. You're not earning any interest yet, because you're not let's say you're not at that point yet. But you just put the money somewhere and you don't look at it, and then one day you decide to look and you have all this money. It's a really good feeling.
Right.
Because this is your money and you didn't spend it on something that's going to deteriorate or you're going to forget about it in a couple of months.
That's right. Now let's talk about some of the things, the daily instant gratification things that we do to kill our financial freedom.
Yes. For instance, number 5, delay instant gratification is what I like to tell people. For example, tax return. And I was talking to my partner last week, and he was telling me one of the reasons why his ex-wife is an ex-wife is that, interesting thing, she was talking about spending the tax return before they even receive the money. And that's a common problem where people thinking, okay, I'm going to buy that flat screen TV, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They're thinking about putting the money out, so spending the money. They're not thinking, wow, how can I invest this money? How can I actually make this money double or triple? And that's where it starts. You have to delay that instant gratification, because if you put that money away and double and triple it, then when it's time for you to gratify yourself, you'll have a lot more to gratify yourself. And that money won't be just used up, because, we know you get that money and in a couple of weeks it's all gone.
That's right. And things like for someone who have to get like a Starbucks every day, those little things really add up in spending, and that's money that could be put away. Now, what about people who want to keep up with the Joneses? What would you say?
I'm glad you mentioned that. Number 6, live below your means. And what I mean by that is, don't live above what you make, because the problem is people far outspend what they make and what they have coming in. And here's a secret, and I'm sure folks have heard this before. The Jones are broke. What happens is the Jones have this facade, and now they themselves are trying to keep up this facade.
That's right.
And they themselves are putting themselves deeper in debt, because everybody's like, wow, you look nice. Oh, I like that new car.
Right.
So they love that feeling of being superior to everybody else, so they continue to put themselves. And I'm talking about the Joneses. I'm not even talking about the regular person like you and I.
Right.
They go so far to impress everyone else, and in actuality, they're hurting themselves. So when you're thinking that the Jones have it going on, in actuality, the Jones are hurting on the inside. They're just trying to keep up that facade.
Sure. And that comes back to the same mental attitude again.
Exactly.
Right. Now, everyone should have an emergency fund.
Yes.
So what would you advise people who do not have an emergency fund? What would, if they do, like, how much should they have in case of life that happens all the time?
Yes. So we're talking about number 7, have an emergency fund for I'd prefer it to be 6 months, but at least 1 month for the just in cases of life. And the just in cases happens all the time. Your car breaks down or something happens, you get a speeding ticket. Things happen all the time in life. So you have to have money set aside so you won't be scrambling. And someone will say, well, I'm barely making it. I can't put away anything. And I go back to what you mentioned about the Starbucks. Because I had a client once that he wanted to protect his family, and he wanted to get life insurance because he thought it was important to himself.
Right.
And he said, but, I don't have any money, I can't. And I said, okay, let me sit down. I sat down and I did the needs analysis with himself and his wife. And it was so much money that was found there because they spend just wastefully. And that happens a lot of time with people that they don't think they can save, but when you really sit down and you look at some of the things that you kind of have and you purchase where you don't really need, then if you discipline yourself and put those things to the side,
Sure.
you'll surprise yourself. And I know this one is probably going to be a touchy subject, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Cigarettes. People say, I have no money, but they have to have their cigarette.
Right.
So whatever it is that you make a priority in your life, you're going to make money and make time for it. So if you even look at the cigarettes and say, okay, you know what? That's some savings right there. Let me stop. And besides, it's not good for you. So you start there and you start disciplining yourself and stop smoking or smoke less until you wane yourself away from it. And you get 2 pennies to rub together, then you get 4, then you get 5, and then it just multiplies. So, but you have to have a starting point. Even if you put away $20, which is not doesn't seem like a lot, but you have to give yourself you have to get that discipline of putting money away.
Right.
So you start with a small amount, and then when you get to a certain level, you say, okay, you know what? I want to actually invest this money. And now we're talking about having money work for you and not you work for your money.
Right.
Because when you're gaining interest on your funds, that means your funds are actually working for you and not the other way around.
Absolutely. Now, I know there's a lot of moms listening, and in particular single moms. So, just want to address them for a minute because they may think they have too little to start now. But, go ahead and tell them it's never too little, correct?
Yes. Number 8, never think you have too little bit to start. It's never too late to start, but it's always too late to wait. And again, I go back to just putting away a small amount at a time. And then as time goes on, you increase that small amount, and it's a mindset. Because, I think I forgot what program it was where they had just regular people that were multimillionaires. You ever heard that program? Because it's a program where they just followed people that were regular people, ordinary people that amassed large amounts of money. And how did they do that?
Right.
It's all a matter of discipline.
They started from somewhere, right.
Yes, you start small and you discipline yourself, and each time you meet a goal, you set the bar a little bit higher for yourself, and you keep exceeding that goal. Look at the sprinters nowadays. The records that they're breaking, they're just shattering them. And it's because whatever you dedicate your time and energy to, that's what you're going to become.
Absolutely.
So the mindset is one of the most important things to change when it comes to money. It's not going to be something that you're going to change overnight, but you have to have a starting point.
Right. That's right. Now, I really love the name of your company, I Control Money. That is really, that says a lot.
Yes.
A lot of us don't think we have money controlling us instead of us, being in control of it. So that is awesome. So I just want to tell our listeners, we're speaking to Noel Gray. He's the currency investment specialist. His contact information, you can find information on icontrolmoney.com. And he's going to give you more information on how to contact him in just a little bit.
Yeah.
So you've just told us all of that, Noel. So what would you tell people to do to continue doing? Make the start first of all, and then just stick with their plan?
Yeah. I'd say make the start. Start with, you have to have a starting point, and you have to have a plan, because that's the very first and the most important thing. You have to have a plan. And then if you don't know where to start, then as I mentioned, get with someone who knows a little bit more about it than you do and get help from them. And then once you put together a plan, you have to stay on track with the plan.
Right.
And I'm glad you mentioned I Control Money, because it would seem almost arrogant when you say, why was the company called I Control Money? But in actuality, the I is you. Each individual, they control money. So when you say I, you personalize it to yourself. I control money. So what we do is we teach you how to control your money. So that's why that I is you.
Right.
When it comes to I Control Money.
That's right. That's right. Okay, and we invite our listeners to call in. If you have any questions for Oral, please give us a call in at 407-894-1680. The phone lines are now open, ready for Oral to answer your question. So please do not hesitate to give us a call. Okay, now Oral, tell us a little bit more how people can contact you if they want to find out more information about, what's best for them as far as investments, which is the right direction to go. Mm-hmm. How would they contact you? Your phone number, your website?
Yeah, you can visit the website, icontrolmoney.com, or you can call me at 407-595-6960. Because I work with anywhere from small business owners to mid-sized business owners to regular individuals. Mm-hmm. Because regular individuals need to save money as well.
Right.
Also, if you are you're with one company and you're no longer with that company, you need to roll over your retirement plan, I can help you with that as well. So the sky is pretty much the limit, because all the different 401k plans, pension funds, all the different plans, I can help individuals with them. Now, some simple things I want to talk about as well. For instance, things that people need to know. Rule of 72. Now, what exactly is the rule of 72? What that does, it tells you how soon your money would double. So, and it's a very simple calculation, but the great thing about a lot of new phones nowadays, they have such wonderful application. I mean, we are definitely living in the age of information age, because you can get so much great information. This is an application I use all the time in front of my clients. It's called Personal Financial, and you can just download that from the Play Store, or either iPhone, the Apple platform. You can actually go there and actually get it at the Apple Store. That's what it is, the Apple Store, and it's Personal Financial, and it just gives you a plethora of information. For instance, I'm talking about the rule of 72, and basically what it does, it shows you how soon before your money double, or what rate of return you need to get in order for your funds to double. So if you're getting a rate of say 6%, and you want to see how long before your money doubles, you just take 72 divided by 6 divided by 72, and boom, it gives you the number right there. You just It's a number that's divisible to almost any numbers.
Sure. Okay, we have a caller that just called in, and based on what you just said, we have to start from somewhere. He said he wanted to share some information that his dad told him when he was 18, which I think relates to what you just said.
Well, that's great.
So, go ahead, caller.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the Talk It Up radio show.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Brother Joseph Powell of the House of Prayer and Praise. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to what you guys were saying about you got to start from somewhere.
Yes.
And I just want to share something that my dad told me when I was 18. And I have that in the back of my head. He said, it's not the amount of money you work, it's what you do with it.
I agree, 100%.
Yes. So no matter how small it is, a start is a start.
Yes.
Because I started working when I was 18 years old.
Wow.
And I thank God to where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I don't work big money, is what I do with my money.
Right.
Yes. You're absolutely right. And thank you so much for sharing that. And you see, that's where by me listening to you, it kind of tells me a little bit about you. The fact that your dad taught you that means you had someone to teach you that. The problem with our generation now, or the generation now, is that no one is teaching them this information, and it's being lost. So we just I like to call it the microwave mentality, where we want things instantly, and then you find life trying to imitate art. So you see these people in the videos, and they have these cars, and most people don't know these things are just rented for that video shoot, and these people don't own the stuff, but they see it and they try to live like that, and a 9-to-5 is not going to get me that, so I want it faster.
Mm-hmm.
Right, as my mom used to say, they want overnight riches.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Well, we certainly thank you for sharing that, caller. And, it's good, especially for young people that's just graduating now. It's good for them to hear this kind of thing because, like Oral said, that's all that's been shown on TV now. The music videos is showing all this fancy stuff. And, they just think you can just go out and spend, but what about the future?
Exactly.
Right. They just live for today and don't think about tomorrow.
Yeah. Right. So we certainly appreciate that. And awesome. It's good job to you for, putting yourself in a good financial situation.
Yes.
I commend you for that.
I definitely commend you for that.
Yes, thank you, and God bless you. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Thank you. God bless you. Okay,
right,
bye-bye.
Boy, me ready. I am ready for Flag Fest. I was over there talking to Narish, and I said, Narish, boy, at my age, 9 o'clock starting is late. Narish said, no, man, come early. I said, you mean come early? You start at 9. He said, no, come at 4 o'clock in the morning before you go to church. Anyway, we're back. We're live in the studios with our financial expert, and Beverly, it's all yours.
Okay, welcome back. And once again, we have Oral Gray in the studio with us, sharing a wealth of information about how to achieve financial freedom. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us regarding that, Oral?
Well, as I mentioned, we have to really take this take responsibility for our own finances. For instance, something that most people may not be aware of, or maybe they are aware of it. Social Security is actually due to run out around 2018. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking that I'm going to have some money for Social Security, you're making a big mistake, because as it stands right now, for the next 18 years, you're going to have about 8,000 people turning 65, mm-hmm. and we're living a lot longer now. All these people are actually, most of these people are drawing Social Security. So when mm-hmm. you pay Social Security now, it's actually going to pay those people.
Right.
So in that time frame, it's not going to be anything left. So as individuals, we have to actually take it upon ourselves mm-hmm. to plan our own retirement future, because Social Security is not going to be there to help us. So this is something I want the listeners to be aware of.
Okay, great. And what would you advise parents to start doing with their children? From as early as what age should we start teaching children about the little pennies in the house? What would you suggest to them?
I'd say as early as 3 or 4,
mm-hmm.
because I know I have a 5-year-old, and I tell you, the kids nowadays, they're about 30 years more advanced than we are.
Sure.
Because they're using iPhones and things of that nature that we didn't have, you
mm-hmm,
know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they always seem to know how to reach for the candy, and if you start by giving them little incentives for chores, they get really motivated. Say, okay, if you do this, I'll give you this. And my daughter gets so excited about putting money in her piggy bank because she's saving, because she wants to go to Disney World for her birthday.
Sure.
And she gets so excited in putting money in her piggy bank.
Mm-hmm.
So at as early as 3 or 4, I would say start. Just let them understand the importance of saving.
Mm-hmm.
So when you give them something, say, okay, I want you to save this and put it in your piggy bank.
Right.
And you get them in that mind frame of saving money.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, you give them a big reward. So when they get all that money, they go and do something wonderful for themselves.
Right.
So they can feel accomplished. And then they're going to, the next chance they get, they want to save and they want to go somewhere else. So you give them incentive and you start them that way.
Great.
Is what I would say.
Great. Awesome. Well, Oral, once again, just share your information with our guest on your contact information. Go ahead and share that.
Okay. You can reach me either icontrolmoney.com, or you can call me direct at 407-595-6960, and I'll be more than happy to help you.
Great. Well, we want to thank you. I learned a lot myself today, so I want to thank you for sharing all that with us. Now, we're going to piggyback on that because we have in our studio Del Blair, who's going to talk about fixing versus buying a motor vehicle. So that goes right along with spending what you don't have
exactly.
to get that new car. So thank you so much for coming, Oral. And, you can hang around if you like and listen to the rest of the show. But once again, audience, you can contact him at 407-595-6960, icontrolmoney.com. Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
And as Beverly said, we have in our studios someone who's going to talk about cars. One of my favorite topics. We are tied up here, literally tied up, Bev and I, in the same in the same wires. It's almost like a spaghetti junction. Sorry about that. Listen, Mr. Blair is in the house. I'm going to take care of some business first, and then we're going to get back to Mr. Del Blair. He reminds me to call him Del because we have another name for him. Mr. Blair, welcome.
How you doing, Mr. Noel?
I'm doing fine. You and I, we've been in the car business for quite a while, and we grew up on cars, you know, and one of the things we always want to do is buy another car, you know, especially when you love car. You see one, you want to buy it, and basically, when do you know is a good time to buy or get rid of your car, whether it's an old car or maybe you just want to trade up or whatever, and you being still a dealer, licensed dealer with the state, right?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Well, give us an idea. Take your time.
Okay. The best time to buy a car is when you can afford it. Like Oral said earlier, you don't spend money unnecessarily. One of the things that you try to do is you check the car out. First thing you do, you find yourself a good mechanic. Everybody needs to have a good mechanic. You find yourself a good mechanic, good, honest mechanic, and when he checks it out, then your mechanic is almost like your car shrink. You check the car out, he'll check the car out, and then you know if it's worth it. If it's financially suitable for you to buy another car, not necessarily a new car, but financially better good for you to buy a car, then you purchase a car then. If it's not too much and you can wait a little bit longer, then you fix it. If a car is going to cost you $2,000 to fix, and it can after it's been fixed, it can last you for 2 years, it's the best thing for you to do is just to fix a car versus buying a new car and pay $300-$400 a month.
Okay. All right. So when we're buying, would you recommend buying a used car or a new car? For example, me, I love the old cars. I tinker a lot, so I can look and say, all right, I just need to fix that. And sometimes when I do get the car, I realize, oh my goodness, I make a big mistake. You know, I remember buying a car, and the guy says it just needs a starter, so I couldn't really crank it over. So I towed it home, was a Toyota MR2. It wasn't a starter. The motor was stuck. It cost me $2,200 to fix the car. So, you know, like I said, I agree with you. But sometimes we make that mistake. But as far as buying new or used, again, that would be a toss-up, or what do you think?
It's a toss-up, and it's actually a personal preference. Now, if I would recommend most single people, whether it be male or female, if you have no knowledge about cars, some people it'd be better for them to just buy a new car with warranty, and all you got to do is basically put gas in it and go, like what some people normally say. But then again, you got a warranty on there, so if you have a problem, you take it to the dealer and fix it if you can afford it. Now, if you can't afford it, you buy a decent used car and you take a mechanic to check it out first, make sure that it's okay, and you basically just go ahead and try go that route.
Okay, got you. Now, Dale, you ever hear the phrase tail light warranty?
Yes, that's actually as soon as you buy the car and it leaves the lot, then it's done. Most dealers, they sell a car as is, no warranty, and the reason for that is because you can't guarantee a used car mainly. Most dealers will say, okay, fine, I'll give you 6 months warranty. Some will say they don't warranty their cars because if you buy a car like at the auction or they buy from another customer to trade it in, you can drive the car right now. Drive the car for a month, no problem with it. You can drive the car for 6 years, no problem with it, except for maintenance items. Okay.
And before I forget, I mentioned you're a licensed dealer, so you do have a garage, a car lot or somewhere, so you are free to give the listeners your number and an idea, where they can find your stuff like that.
Yes. Name of my business is Deltec Auto. We are located at 4712 West Concord Avenue in Orlando. My cell phone number is 321-689-0545.
Do you have a website?
We're working on it, and my email is deltecauto@gmail.com.
Excellent. And you still do mechanic work?
Yes, I do mechanic work. I do 90% of my mechanic work, and I also buy and sell cars.
All right, let me ask when I hear them use this phrase clean title, rebuild title, salvage. I see some people on Craigslist and they advertise a car. When I go there, they tell you that my grandma have the title, or I have the title in California, and a whole lot of horror stories. What would you recommend in such a situation? Run for your life, or work with them?
It all depends. You asked a couple questions in there.
I know. I sort of ad-lib sometime. I know.
Okay, all right. You have a big thing. It's called clean title cars. That means a clean title history is on the car. Most people tend to prefer to buy those cars. And you also have what is called a rebuilt title car, that the car has been in an accident or has been had a theft on there, and the dealer or individual will buy it back from the insurance company, and then they do the rebuild process, and then they are legally allowed to sell the car after that. It's not a bad thing. It's a personal preference. Some people rather having a clean title car versus a rebuilt title car, but me personally, I rather my rebuilt title cars because I get the cars cheaper that way. Right.
All right. And how would I know, whether it's a clean title or rebuilt title or salvage? Is there like something on the car you can look at, or you have to go to a website or something? Or
well, you can always look at the. Normally, they put it inside. You open the driver's door, and there should be a Florida sticker in there saying rebuilt sticker in there. Or you can look at the title, or you can use Carfax, or just do a report on the title.
Right. And then I remember there was a big hurricane that went up the East Coast, and a whole lot of cars were flooded. And then they were shipping them down to Florida and sell them as clean titles because it wasn't in the system as yet. You remember that?
Yes. Those cars I don't buy. I'd rather get a car that is in an accident because I know what part I got to repair. Flood damaged cars, it's a big iffy. I have a couple of friends that they buy those cars and they sell those cars, and I have a couple of I've gotten lucky with a couple of those cars, but I'd rather not buy a flood damaged car.
Me neither, because when my background is with electronics, and once water get into the wiring, it never stops. You just start rusting and corroding. So I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. Now, I have used a thing called Kelly Blue Book to like get a value of the car. But what about Carfax?
Kelly Blue Book, you use that to get a value of the car. Carfax you use to see like the car history. Both of those are good sources to use. It is not a guarantee 100% accurate.
Okay, and I have a question here from a member of our studio. Mrs. Martin is asking how to keep the AC healthy in hot weather, and that is very, very good question. Or is there such a thing? Can you do?
Actually, now they sell some chemicals that you can actually use inside the AC system in the car. But the best thing to do to keep your car cool is to put a good window tint on your car.
That's a good idea. I never thought of that. I learned something today. I was thinking more of you're going to be like a new magic chemical that you put in or something. That's awesome. I've seen a lot of women, when Beverly wrote a question, have a lot of problems. And they're like, I saw this lady 2 nights ago, and somebody quoted her $600 just to check the car. Do you do things like that? I mean, like charge a fee to check the cars or so? I'm putting you on the spot, so I know.
when I'm selling a car, I recommend my customers, if they feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, I always advise my friends and my customers, if you're going to buy a car, if it's not from me, is to get a mechanic to check it out. If they're buying a car from me, I recommend that they bring their mechanic to check it out so that they can have a comfort level. I do offer that service, and I charge a fee of about $100 just to check it out.
Right, good. That's not bad. That's a good investment. You know, instead of buying a lemon for $100, you save yourself a lifetime of headaches and maintenance fees. Now, another thing, now that you own the car, to the layman, servicing, changing oil, all that type of stuff.
Yes, when you buy a car, especially a used car, it's just like buying a house. You have certain maintenance stuff that you have to do on it. The thing is for your peace of mind to know from point A that once you purchase that car is that you know when the services are done. Yeah. So basically, you're going to start doing everything all over. You make sure you get your oil changed. You check your brakes. You check your tires. Tires are very important. The two most important things on the car is your brakes and your tires.
In the automotive business, and as far as anything I miss, I can't think of anything else I can ask. Beverly's writing some notes here for me, but excuse me. Go ahead.
Oh well, pretty much is it's like from the olden days. A lot of people stopped doing the basic. You gotta get back to the basic. Check your tire pressure once a week. That is very important. Probably once a month. You got somebody checking your oil and stuff like that. That's something that I try to teach, especially most of my customers, my female customers, mainly because check your oil. I teach them how to check the oil, how to check the tire pressure, and make sure they got coolant in the cars. Yeah,
man. Thank you. All right, Dale. Thank you so much for coming. If you can just give your the listening audience your phone number and information one more time. I have the countryman ready to go with the jamming vibes. He's hooking up with all the wires, and I know it's going to be an awesome show. Because when I leave here, I'll keep it locked on www.wokbradio.com. And listen, the studio lines are still open. The phone number is 407-894-1680, and coincidentally 1680 is our frequency on the AM band. We're WOKB Radio 1680 AM. Dale, thank you so much for coming. While DJ Faze and wow, Genius is in the house too. We gone clear. Dale, thank you so much for coming.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my studio audience, again, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Beverly here, she's a mother also. So Beverly, live on the air, I'm going to say Happy Mother's Day, one of the best mothers I've met. Still my mother is number one. We're going to give you a little, a lot of noise out there. Have a good time, my friends. We're going to leave you here tonight with my Sam Cooke and the prayer. I love this song. Have a good evening.